In the first presentation we developed for this proposal, they asked us for a second alternative, which gave a greater challenge to this project. Raise the premises to a second floor and locate the parking spaces on the first level to enter into a totally viable project under this new scenario. It was important to guarantee its functionality and operability, in addition to presenting it as a strong attraction. That it be feasible to rent it to a doctor, a lawyer and a barber or stylist. And that the location help them ensure that services and clients have greater access and fluidity. To this challenge, Luis Daniel Rivera, I present a new challenge to the client. If you want a second level, why not make it even more attractive? And here he presents. For this new design, Luis Daniel plans to acquire the DP9 property and group it with the DP10 meters. Demolish both and build a two-level structure, totally contemporary, with a capacity of not only 3 commercial spaces, but also has the capacity to add 2 more spaces, to increase the commercial spaces for rent to 5. One of the greatest attractions of this proposal is in the common areas of the building. In this proposal, Luis Daniel breaks with the conventionalism of dividing the property into separate spaces, and instead develops a common interior space, which allows for more organized circulation and spatial distribution, which provides both tenants and their clients with a greater security, as well as a more pleasant space in relation to the climate and noise from outside. The stairs and the core of the elevator take on a leading character since being the most fluid point of the entire building. This becomes one of the focal and directional points of the proposal. The staircase revolves around an interior garden, where a red palm tree rises under the sky, through the skylights that provide natural light to that space during the day. For this proposal, Luis Daniel Rivera makes a hybrid between what has been his raw material in his projects, GCTM2, which he works together with Ecologica Carmelo, but on this occasion he combines it with exposed concrete to give it this very characteristic, contemporary and minimalist to the project. Another of the conventions that Luis Daniel eliminates from this proposal is the perception of the addition. For this project, all the spaces have a unique characteristic that distinguishes them from the rest, but they are presented in such a way that it is not perceived that they are different, but rather that there are 5 different professions cohabiting the same space. Luis Daniel also breaks with the conventionalism of cold architecture, typical of this type of building, that is, a residence or building that was divided into a certain number of spaces, and that the tenants have a certain limitation in terms of accessibility and visibility from the outside. In this proposal, the building becomes the landmark and reference point, and allows the tenant to be able to provide a more precise location to their clients. He also presents the tenant with a more striking and attractive space than the rental offer in the area. The common areas next to the rental spaces give this dynamism to the proposal that gives it this unique personality, character and essence for this design, since it gives the spaces an interrelation between them without affecting their operability. The corridor that connects the spaces, being a wide corridor, designed for the flow of a certain number of people. Also provides the opportunity to rent micro spaces for mobile kiosks, such as a lottery ticket seller, an insurance and medical plan seller, and any other product that does not need more space. Beyond a folding table and several chairs, thus expanding the rental income. The Barber Shop, very similar to the first proposal, is open to the outside through glass, from where the entire exterior can be seen from Los Dominicos Avenue, parallel to Logo Cerrillo Street, but unlike the first proposal, which was located on the first level, being on the second level in this new proposal. This allows the area of the styling chairs to be completely exposed to the outside view, and only be hidden from that visualization, the hair washing area, and the storage area, rest area and employee bathroom, the reception. Although it is in the same area as the styling chairs, is discreetly located at the side entrance. As an access control point to the salon, the totally contemporary interior design, where the dark colors contrast with the natural light that comes from the outside, and the focal lights that give a certain gallery style. A second level allows more visibility. And although the environment is practically residential, it allows for safer views to the outside than in the first design, where all the offices were located on the first level. For this office, we followed the same interior design pattern as the previous design, but with the difference that this time, by having more space, we gave it a more formal character within the contemporary design. Here the elements of wood, the steel curtain, the curved suspended ceilings, combined with contemporary furniture, give this office a very particular glamorous style. In this proposal, Lewis Daniel seeks to ensure that the client offers welcoming spaces that are consistent with the professions that the tenants practice. Technology is very important in this proposal because, thanks to it, we can offer a space that in another time would have been compact. But thanks to technology, we can maximize the spaces too and offer in what in another time was an uncomfortable space. Today it becomes a totally spacious and welcoming space. In this proposal, contrary to the previous one, the medical office takes on another dimension and another logistics very different from the first design in the previous one. The view to the outside was extremely limited. On this occasion, the waiting room opens wide with a glass wall that can see the outside, and in turn allows more natural light to enter the waiting area during the day. the distribution and spatial organization of the medical office. In this proposal also provides greater spaciousness and greater interaction with the outside, providing both the staff who work in the office and the patients and family members who accompany them a more comfortable environment, more dynamic, and safer in terms of health. In the previous proposal, due to limited space, medical attention was limited to one patient per call. In this new proposal, it allows the creation of a transition through the vital unit, which allows, while a patient is cared for by the doctor, there is a second patient who is on duty in the vital unit with assistant personnel in the evaluation prior to the medical consultation, streamlining the process and fluidity of patients. Like the other spaces, the interior design of this office was in line with contemporary trends in offices and medical facilities, but unlike the previous ones, here the color white predominates, with accents in wood and shades of grey in sky blue. An important fact to highlight are the automated doors in the control area between the consultation area and the waiting area, and the respective vital rooms and medical consultation. This to control and facilitate the flow of patients between the different areas. The cyber spot would be the complement of the other establishments in relation to services, since it would be focused on supplying a tool to clients in relation to a last-minute service required, such as searching for information that they need both for the medical or legal consultation. For this space, its design was very simple and somewhat limited to maintain control of the users who request the service. This proposal, in contrast to the previous one, offers a restroom area for both women and men, whose access to them will be controlled by keys that will be located in each commercial establishment and by the building's service personnel. This greatly helps to keep the bathrooms of each limited establishment segregated for the personnel who work in said offices, and the restrooms for the general public. But if something must be highlighted about this proposal, it is its reason for existing, indoor parking. When we observe businesses of this type throughout Levittown, as well as in different commercial areas similar to these in Puerto Rico, we see that the biggest handicap they have is in relation to parking, which makes success greatly difficult. Of this type of business in Puerto Rico, without parking accessibility, there is no viable profitability, and this proposal attempts to resolve this. Although certainly, this type of project demands a greater number of parking spaces than the one presented in this proposal. If we were asked to summarize this proposal in one word, the most appropriate would undoubtedly be income security. When we look at this proposal and compare it with rental spaces of this type around its immediate surroundings, we can see that this type of proposal is very attractive for those professionals looking for a space to develop their businesses, and even more so when in the presentation of the offer, in this case directed to a doctor, lawyer, barber or stylists, or entrepreneurs. They see the potential of the space develop to the highest level, which would save them the time of investing in enabling the space, because it already has an interior design that helps you visualize the space in its entirety. It also allows the owner of the establishment to maintain control over the type of improvements that each tenant makes to their premises, to avoid any type of damage that they may cause. I'm Stacey McCallan, and thank you for joining me on this virtual tour of this second proposal for this project. We hope you enjoyed it and lived up to your expectations. Until next time.